Hey y'all, and welcome to Compassion is the Secret Ingredient. Today I'm going to be making for you my peanut butter cup cupcakes. These fudgy cupcakes are not too sweet. They really do mimic an actual peanut butter cup. To get started, we are going to start with the dry ingredients. Everything for the actual cake itself is going to be combined into one bowl. So technically this is a one bowl if you measure into it. With that being said, I mise en placed the shit out of it. I didn't want to stand here measuring things whilst doing it. So first thing going into my mixing bowl here is some flour. This is 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. To the flour, I'm going to be adding in my cocoa powders. Yes, plural. So I have a 1/2 cup of special dark cocoa powder and 1 tablespoon of black cocoa powder. Now the black cocoa powder is being added to just increase the color. This is for Halloween and it's supposed to be like a really nice spooky kind of looking cupcake. So we want it a little bit darker and that's what the black cocoa is going to do. It's also going to add a little bit of an earthy flavor to it. If you don't have black cocoa powder and don't want to buy it, you could always just up the quantity of the special dark by a tablespoon and omit the black cocoa powder. And last but not least, for the dry ingredients is baking powder, baking soda, and some salt. Go ahead and give this a whisk to combine. This first whisk is pretty important because if you don't pre-whisk the dry ingredients, you're more likely going to over-whisk when you add the wet. And if you over-whisk a chocolate cake, that can really cause some damage. Chocolate cake is already one of those things where you don't want to mess with it too much. 1 cup of almond milk is going to go in. And while I have this, I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 cup of boiling water. I've just had water boiling back here on the stove, so I'm just going to measure that out and get that poured in. The reason why we add boiling water to a chocolate cake, if you've ever been curious, is because it helps the cocoa powder to bloom. The flavor of the powder itself gets really good and hydrated, and it just really helps to ensure a really good chocolate cake. 1 cup of boiling water going in, a 1/2 cup of oil, Energy egg replacer that I pre-mixed. I did it for 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and now our sugars. We're using 2 different sugars here, regular granulated sugar, and then some brown sugar. 1 1/2 cups of this and a 1/2 cup of this. Now we're going to mix this. Remember, we just want to make sure that all of the ingredients have come together. We do not want to overmix it. There's no lumps and bumps. All the dry ingredients have been incorporated. And now I'm going to go ahead and transfer this into my cupcake pans. So I'm filling each of these about halfway. My cupcakes are ready to go into the oven. I have exactly 24 cupcakes. They're going to go into that preheated 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes. Okay, y'all, so the audio file got corrupted, which really sucks, but I'm going to go ahead and just do a voiceover here for you. So I was saying here that the cupcakes came out flat-ish and that's exactly how they're supposed to look. Remember, these are peanut butter cup cupcakes, and peanut butter cups are not big, giant, mounded over things. So I'm going to go ahead and make the frosting now. In that bowl, I have 2 sticks of vegan butter as well as some coconut cream. The coconut cream gives this frosting a really nice whipped cream type frosting texture. And I really also like that it kind of neutralizes the butter flavor. When it comes to chocolate cake, we don't usually use butter in it. So neutralizing the butter flavor in the frosting, I think, was a good move. I'm going to go ahead and add in now the cocoa powder, using that dark cocoa powder, 1/2 cup, and then also a little salt. And then there's 4 cups total powdered sugar in this frosting. However, you don't add all 4 at once. I added in 1 cup and then I mixed it in, and then I added in, I think, 2 more at once, and then I mixed it in, and then the final one I mixed it in. And when it is all done, here's what it looks like. It's kind of a light chocolate brown color. And when it is done, I go ahead and put it into the fridge so that it has a few minutes to set while I core the cupcakes. So coring the cupcakes, I use an apple corer, but you could use a little spoon or a knife or whatever you really have on hand. The apple corer just makes it super duper easy. And I'm telling you right here that you want to go almost to the bottom because the amount of peanut butter filling that we put in there is pretty decent. If you have a cupcake core, those are generally, I feel like, a little bit bigger, so you might not have to go quite as deep with a cupcake core. And once the cupcakes have all been cored, I went ahead and I put in the peanut butter filling, and now you can see I am going to be I pulled the frosting from the fridge, and now I'm going to be piping it on. So because of the coconut cream in there, it is a little bit harder to pipe, but it is absolutely worth the little bit of extra work. And this frosting recipe makes the exact perfect amount for these 24 cupcakes. Now here I am showing you 2 ways that I like to decorate these. This was around Halloween, so of course they're Halloween-esque, but if you mixed it up, you could use it some other way. The first one, though, is definitely for Halloween. You can use melted marshmallows, or in this case, all I had on hand was marshmallow cream, and you can stretch it around the cupcake to make it look like spider webs. I used 2 forks to do this. And then I had little plastic spiders. I had washed them really good before they came in contact with the food, and I put those on there. And then the second method, this one's the one that you could change up for whatever it is, seasonal or holiday wise, but it is glitter. And I like to use the Fancy Sprinkles glitter. It's edible and it's gorgeous and it comes in so many colors, and they have a good little spritzer. You can see that I shake it in between each of the spritzes. That just helps to make sure that it continues to spray pretty good. And taking a bite finally, what I was saying is that it's the perfect chocolate flavor. It's a little bitter, it's not too sweet, it's not crazy overwhelmingly fudgily chocolatey, even though it's a fudgy or cake recipe. And the frosting itself is not too sweet either. It's another perfect balance of flavors, and the filling tastes exactly like a peanut butter cup. So here I am saying goodbye. And so I'm going to continue to just say goodbye to you now. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember that cooking with compassion can taste pretty damn good. Thanks for watching.